Hey everybody, today we're going to be doing a tutorial over the beloved footed tights. This pattern is super versatile because it can be used from fall all the way up until spring, or you could use a really lightweight fabric and put it underneath some really cute spring dresses. So this will last you up until spring, so it's a great pattern. Also, it has high knee socks, thigh knee socks, which is awesome, and it's all included on the same pattern. But before we go any further, I do want to say that this video today is sponsored by Olga's Closet. We will link them down below. They are a family-owned and operated fabric shop. They are amazing, and they have the fabric that we're going to be using for the tights today. So we'll link that down below so you guys can get you some really nice rib knits that's perfect for tights. So keep that in mind and make sure you check the description down below. There's an arrowhead on the right hand side. Click that arrowhead. It should be facing down on the right hand side. Click it. The description should pop open. You will see the link to the pattern that we will feature today. You will see the link to the fabric shop, Olga's Closet. You will see a link to her Facebook group so you stay up to date on everything that she posts, because she has a whole bunch of live Facebook sales for fabric, which is pretty awesome. I'm not sure of very many other companies that do that, so it's really awesome. You get first dibs on things if you go to her Facebook group and you follow the live videos. Sorry, my daughter isn't here today, so you guys are getting the real. Today's pattern that we're going to be using is the Petite Stitchery & Co. Opal tights. It's available in baby, girls, and women's, so that's awesome. We'll link the patterns down below. So before we move on to this pattern, one bit of information that I want you to know. It does come with tights, high knee socks, thigh knee socks, and then the tights will have elastic, 1-inch knit elastic at the top. The socks will have cuffs. All right. We're not going to do the socks today, but it's really simple because it's actually included in the pattern. You would literally just cut the pattern here for high knee or here for thigh knee, and then cut the measurements per size here for the cuffs. We're not doing that. Super simple though to do it. We're doing tights today, so we're going to have 1-inch elastic. When you grab this pattern, you'll notice that they don't include the measurements for the elastic, but instead they tell you to take the measurement of the waist and subtract 1.5 inches from that. Okay, so if you have a model or you have the person who the garment is intended for, you would measure their waist and subtract 1.5 inches. Of course, you'd make sure that you're picking the size according to their measurements. That's the best way you're going to get the best fit. For any of the garments that we ever feature on here, that's the best way you're going to get the best fit for the garment, because pattern companies all have their own different sizings. I mean, it's fairly similar, but they all have different things that they like to do differently, and sizing just ends up a little bit different. And you guys know what that is. Like, you go to a brand name store too, you could go to like Old Navy and their jeans are a little bit different than, say, American Eagle. You wear totally different sizes. Same thing is for pattern companies. And so for Petite Stitchery, you need to make sure that your child's measurements, or the model's measurements, or the customer's measurements, or whatever is matching up here. Make sure that your customers have the measurement chart here, and then you always refer them back to here, to the measurement chart, which is listed on the pattern piece. Okay, so if you don't have that information, if you don't have a way to measure the person's waist, then you go to the size chart here. And so for this one in particular, it's a 24-month size that I'm making here that's printed out. And so what I'm going to do is go to the 24 months, and they have the sizes here, which, like the measurements. So they say that the 24 months will fit a 20-inch waist. So I'm just going to use that measurement, take 1.5 inches off, and that's going to be my elastic. So it's going to be 18.5 inches for this elastic. That's what I'm going to use. It may end up being a little too small, but they're supposed to be tight so they can fit and not pull down. That's the gist of it. We're going to be using this luscious ribbed knit black fabric from Olga's Closet. Y'all, this is amazing, and it stretches just enough that it's so perfect. It's not going to be super hot, but it's going to be just warm enough for that extra layer of protection in the cooler months. It's so awesome. And this one side is kind of slick. The wrong side is kind of slick, and the right side is kind of brushed. So it's super soft. It's just perfect. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to cut this because it is a little different. Not really, but I know a lot of you have questions about how the fabric is cut, so I'm going to show you guys in this video. So what you do, of course, is you're going to find the end of the fabric, which is what I like to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull fabric to the very end and make sure I only have one piece of fabric here. There's no crazy things underneath it. I have my one piece of fabric and I'm working on selvage. Of course, these ribs are going to be vertical ribs, so you'll know how that works. I like to put my fabric right side up so that when I fold it, all the stuff is already like put together. The right sides are put together, so I don't have to do much in terms of fixing my pattern pieces or whatever together. So I'm going to put my fabric right side up and I'm going to fold it over. And again, this is selvage. I'm folding the selvage edge over. This fabric's giving me just a little bit of trouble because of the vertical ribs, so it's a little hard to... Hold on, baby. Okay, so here we go. And then what you do is you take your pattern piece and you see, maybe I need to unfold it a little bit. It's fine for right now. Okay, so put your pattern down, pull it up to the top here, and of course it says your grain line is this way, so we know that the stretch is going this way. If your grain line is going this way, that means the stretch needs to go this way, and we know the fabric is stretchy that way. So I'm going to use my pattern weights here. And again, if you're just now finding us, hey baby, Mama's doing a video. If you're just now finding us, I love you. Can you sit down and let Mommy do this video? Sit down and let Mommy do this video. Thank you. Alright. So this is what I do. I just put my pattern weights on here to try to keep this pattern down. And then you literally just cut all around it. And so, because it says you need 2 mirrored images. And so this is how, like, the cheat way to get 2 mirrored images. So you don't have to remember if you had the pattern piece right side up or wrong side. Yeah. So you just fold the fabric over and don't actually cut the fold. You don't actually cut anything on the fold. You cut all around the pattern piece. So you have 2 pieces, mirrored images. Perfect. So if you've been around me, you know that I like to make perfect cuts just because it messes with my OCD. I know some people are probably looking at this like, she is wasting so much fabric, but it's just what I do. I just don't like the weird little ends, so I like to do this. It gives me a really good surface area. I would not recommend that if you are like pushed for fabric. Try to puzzle piece it together, but if you have a lot of fabric, this is a really good way to do it. Here. Then you have this. Okay, this is done now. We've got our pattern. This is literally all you need. You need these 2 pieces that you just cut from the pattern piece, and then you need your elastic piece. Alright, so I'm going to grab a pin here, and I'm just going to create a loop with my elastic here, about a 1/2 inch. Put a pin in, and then just secure the elastic in a loop. That's what I'm going to do here. Boom, boom. We're going to go over to the serger. Let's do the sewing machine. Literally all I'm going to do, I'm not going to show you that. All I'm going to do is zigzag stitch over this a few times just to make sure that the elastic stays together when I remove the pin. And then we're going to go to the serger. So give me... Okay, so this is what that looks like when you secure the elastic. I just secured it here about a 1/2 inch over. And then when you pull it, it doesn't come apart. Alright, so for this, right sides together like we had when you cut the fabric like I just showed you, you will have right sides together already. If you didn't, go ahead and put your right sides together here, match up your crotch curve, and then your feet. So what you're going to do is you're going to do both crotch curves. So this curve right here with the little peak at the end here on the right, this one on the left. I hope that's correct. On the screen it's probably the opposite. Alright. So my normal settings, I use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Alright, there. And then we're going to do this other curve right here, this one right here. So then what you're going to do is you're going to undo this part here and then match up your crotch seams that you just sewed. So now it's going to look like this. And the back is going to be higher than the front because of the booty. So now what you're going to do is Match up your feet here. Remember, it's still right sides together. Match up your feet. And here you're going to have this folded edge. And right here is where it's going to start. If you guys can see it. I know it's black and it's a little hard to tell. But see right here where it's folded. And then it's not. That's where you're going to start your seam. And pretty much what you do is you start on that edge. You're going to curve around to make sure that you get that little folded edge. And there's not going to be a hole there. And so to do a curve, what I like to do is I like to just put my finger right here and kind of hold the fabric as it goes around. Just kind of guide it like this, and you just kind of guide the fabric around, making sure that right sides are together. Again, if you need to use pins, absolutely do that. If you don't, this fabric's really good because the right side is brushed, and so it kind of just sticks together. It's really great. So you're literally just going all the way up to the crotch points here that you're going to make sure they line up. And make sure everything's lining up the whole way. Okay, so when you get to the crotch, you're going to pull it straight. Make sure that your 2 points in the middle, the 2 crotch seams, are lining up here. And then you go all the way down to the next leg. Do this one the exact same way as the first one. I just kind of put my finger here and let it pull it around. Just again. Pull it around the curve. And then again, make sure that you go up a little bit where that fold is, because you don't want to create a hole there. And so of course I left my tail a little bit long there because you're going to want to tuck your tail in here. Tuck it into the seam here so that this does not unravel. Just like that. And then this one, of course, on the other side that we started with, you're doing the exact same thing here. All right, perfect. I'll leave a little bit of that in there like this, and then just cut my excess off here. Alright, so then that's what you're left with there. That's secured. It's not going to be messed with. And so then what you're going to do, we have the tights pretty much done. The whole bottom part of the tights is done. Now we just need to add the elastic. So what you're going to do is, this is the elastic that we had. And if you look, it is going to be slightly bigger than the opening. Your elastic is going to be slightly bigger than the opening. It's totally fine. Most of the times I do this pattern, I find that's the case. But once you get it on there, it won't look big. Okay, so you need 4 pins. I'm not going to put them on mouth because people in the comments come for me. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to quarter up your elastic and your waistband. Okay, so for elastic, of course, I don't like to use the little scissors to snip it because it will cause it to unravel. So I like to use a marker. I'm just going to use this pink Sharpie here. And I always like to start on this point. I don't know why. I just find that that looks the best in the back, even though it's going to be enclosed. It's just what I do. So I'm going to mark that point and then fold it to this point, mark this point. And then you're going to match those 2 points up there, front and back. And then carry this over here, mark there. Same thing on this side, mark there. All right. Okay. If I hear the word mama one more time today, no, I'm just kidding. I love her. She could say mama forever. I mean, yeah, it gets annoying, but what would I do if she couldn't say it, you know? Okay, so let's match up. We've got our waistband quartered. But again, like I was saying, you can absolutely secure this with a serger. Put it, you know, together and then flip it. Whatever you want to do. I just find it easier and more not bulky or less bulky. However you say that. Y'all don't. Okay, don't mind me. But I like to use it on the sewing machine to quarter our tights here. So of course you're going to match up your crotch seams, which you've already got, crotch seam, match those up, and then your side points here and here are going to be your points. And so I like to snip this especially since it's black fabric. You're not going to be able to see any marks unless you're using like a white pen or silver Sharpie or something. Okay, so what you're going to do is put this all around the outside, so the garment's still inside out. And so I'm attaching the elastic to the wrong side of the garment. And I'm going to leave, because I'm doing it with a serger, I'm going to leave a 1/4 inch of fabric above where I put my elastic. So you can see I've got a 1/4 inch of fabric right here above my elastic. Okay, so that, you guys can see that. And I do that because I like to cut off the fabric and get as close to the elastic as possible. You could absolutely just turn your knife off if you wanted to do that, but I find this to be the most clean, professional look. Again, it's just what I do. I need a shirt that says that. It's just what I do. Alright, okay, so then you're going to match up your points, of course. Just go all the way around the garment here. On the outside of the garment, the wrong side of the garment, you're attaching elastic. Boom, boom, boom. Last pin. Alright. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it is on there. And as you can see, it's really not that much bigger, especially because this is ribbed knit fabric. So this is like perfect. So put it underneath here, and of course, like always, when I'm using elastic, you just literally put it right up against there, and you're just gonna cut off this little 1/4 inch elastic that's above there. So let's get to going before my camera starts acting all goofy. Whatever. All right, here we go. From point to point. Removing your pins as you go, because that is just a hazard. Your machine will thank you. Your eyeballs will thank you. My tail kind of long so that I can just tuck it in here ever so gently. I don't know what kind of accent that was, but alright, come on now. I swear this is super easy until I put a camera on me, and then it's not. So yeah, there you go. And then you're gonna take your slack. So then you have your elastic on there. It is sewn all the way around the edge. And so what you'll do is then you will flip it down like this, and then top stitch around, and then you'll be done. So let's go over to the sewing machine and top stitch this down. Okay, so here I am at the sewing machine. I am just going to be using a standard zigzag stitch, 5 width, 2 length, and I am going to start in the back because that's where I like to start here. Before I do that, let me grab my tag. This is what I didn't do last time. Okay, so I'm at the back here, and I know that because remember, I put this little guy here. Could be a girl, I don't know, I didn't ask. That's dumb. Okay, so you're just gonna put it underneath here, like this. Make sure that whatever you're needing to show is showing, and then you're just gonna top stitch right over it. And make sure that you're pulling the fabric down so that it's snug against the elastic. Once you get the tag, you can let go of it, and then you just pretty much go all the way around here. I'm not pinning it because, like I said, the elastic is almost the exact same measurement as the waist, so it's no big deal. If you did have to stretch your elastic a little bit, you would need to pin it, but for this, it's pretty straightforward. So, and I'm literally just stitching right here. It's kind of like I guess it would be considered a blind top stitch. Not really, because it's going to come out on the other side. I just want to make sure that I'm getting this part secured. So we're back to where we started. I'm just going to go over it and zigzag stitch, back stitch. Okay, so back stitch a little bit and then snip it, And then you're pretty much done. So that's how it looks on this side, and you'll snip your little tails, and we'll go over here to see the finished product. My daughter's singing Old McDonald. All right, so that's the wrong side of the garment there. And then you'll just flip them out, flip them right side out. They are super tiny, so if you have bigger arms, it may be a little difficult, but I just kind of do this. I push it through, grab it with my hand, pull it through, and then just give it a good plop. If you watch TikTok, you know what the plop is with your hair. I haven't got a chance to plop my hair yet, but that sounds really cool. But so that's how they look. Super cute, super stretchy, super stretchy waist. Very cute, closed toe. You don't have to worry about it messing up the toe because you secured it. So it's super cute. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if it helps you out. Comment any questions you have. Go check out Olga's closet. We'll link them down below. The pattern will be linked down below. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.